Ai, gente, enquanto...
Okay, so today we're going to talk about a paper by David Matley. It's called The Pragmatic Function of the Hashtag Sorry Not Sorry in Non-Apologetic Instagram Posts. My name is Castro.
My name is Isabella.
My name is Camila.
Okay, so this paper is divided into 6 sections. I'm going to talk about the first 3, from introduction to impoliteness online. So in the introduction, the author says that this study adds to research on impoliteness in social media by examining the ways in which users of Instagram strategically employ hashtags and engage in Facebook with potentially inappropriate posts. Social media, he claims, are stance-rich environments which will allow users to construct online identities. And because of that, because of the way social networking sites, or SNS, are involved in, because of the way they are constructed, users of social networking sites are involved in a delicate balancing act of promotion of the self while posting potentially offensive content. Impoliteness, then, rather than being a simply online manifestation of this inhibition, may also have community and identity forming functions. So it has, actually, it's a very fertile ground for research on impoliteness. And he also justifies his choice for studying Instagram because Instagram has been widely researched in psychology. However, this is not the reality of linguistic research, which has mainly focused on Facebook and Twitter. And that's why he chooses Instagram. And then, and Instagram and presentation of the self in social media. He says that social media play a key role in presentation of the self and management of social relationships. And because of that, people, they tend to simultaneously present acquisitive forms of self-presentation and protective forms of self-presentation, and he gives 2 examples. One example, acquisitive self-presentation would be, for instance, when someone achieves, is promoted in his job, or gets a new job or something good in their lives, and they will post on social media, and this kind of post tends to have more responses, more commentary, people tend to interact more, and also protective self-presentation, which would be some resources offered by this media for a person to, for instance, to raise a commentary in a post which would lead their followers to look at that in a negative way. So he claims that there is a positivity bias. People in social media, they will tend to behave in a positive manner, to present a positive self. And this arises from both the norms of appropriateness in the context of online community, but also the technical affordances of social media. And then he goes on and talks about Instagram, which is one of the most important social media today. It has around 800 million users with a strong millennial demographics. And Instagram particularly offers some resources for a person to present an ideal version of the self. You can edit your pictures, you can put filters, and you can sometimes erase commentary, and you have the several functions in the app, in the media, that will allow you to present the best version of the self, an ideal version of the self. However, despite its affordances for successful self-presentation, there is some evidence that community norms on Instagram encourage excessive self-display and the posting of potentially transgressive content. So he says that in Instagram, people, they tend to present an individual self-image instead of behaving in a community-oriented manner. So this will lead people to sometimes self-display excessively, and sometimes in a not very appropriate manner. And then he gives 3 examples. That would be, for instance, funeral selfies, disaster selfies, and Holocaust selfies. And I even remember when there were some people in Germany who there was actually this movement that they would take selfies people were posting on the Holocaust Memorial in Berlin, and they would Photoshop it to put the backgrounds with real images of the Holocaust, so that people would pay attention to the fact that they were in a place that they should, pay the respect instead of taking a happy selfie or something like that. And then, pode passar? It talks about impoliteness online. So the interplay between technical affordances and constraints on the one hand, and newly emerging community norms on the other, makes DMC, which stands for digitally mediated communication, of particular interest for impoliteness research. But, however, recent research on impoliteness has focused more on the emergence of norms of appropriateness than on the linguistic forms that are seen as inherently impolite. And this would suggest that politeness and impoliteness are dynamic concepts which are more social than pragmatic. And he says that this is a little dangerous because we must not look away from the linguistic forms. So he gives an example of context collapse. Context collapse is the fact that social media collapse diverse social contexts into one. And that makes it difficult for people to engage in some of the complex negotiations that you need to evaluate positively or negatively some sort of interaction. So, and in social media, since you sometimes will post for a very broad audience, which you might not exactly you might not exactly know who is going to see that post. It can be dangerous. Pode passar. And he says that micro-posters on social media have to deal with a number of potential audiences who may or may not approve the shared information. As a result, users of social networking sites have been shown to employ a wide range of audience management strategies, such as deliberate vagueness, irony, and intertextuality to address specific audiences. And then we get to our point. One of the affordances of social media for disambiguation of utterances and pragmatic work is hashtags. So, and then he talks about hashtags. Well, the primary function of a hashtag is to make a content searchable. And by primary, I mean the original function, I guess. So when you post a picture of yourself working out and you put a hashtag fitness, people who are interested in that sort of content, they will be able to see your post, even though they don't follow you or they don't even know you. So this would be the original function of a hashtag. However, hashtags have been used as some sort of meta commentary or meta pragmatic markers. He claims that hashtags can be used as some sort of evaluate stance-taking forms, so they could guide the overall interpretation of the post, because they work as meta-pragmatic markers. They can convey irony or sarcasm, and in the case of this study, it will look at how hashtags can be used to legitimize norm-violating behavior as part of online self-presentation strategies. So, and he gives an example of people who would post some sort of self-appraisal post, which could be interpreted negatively. However, the people would use a hashtag brag or a hashtag humble brag, which would be simultaneously literal and ironic, so that they could influence the way that people will respond to that particular post. And that's it.
Then we move on to the fourth session of the article, Fans and Non-Apologies Online. And a very important concept for this topic we are discussing is the notion of face, which the author presents more clearly in this section of the article. Goffman defines face as the positive social value a person effectively claims for himself by the line that others assume he has taken during a particular contact. So, in other words, to Goffman, face is the public image of a person being evaluated through verbal and nonverbal acts arising out of and within interaction. Later, we have Brown and Levinson defining face as the public self-image that every member of a society wants to claim for himself. The difference here is that these authors believe that the notion of face is a characteristic that pertains to a person rather than arising out of interaction. So, to summarize, face is the self-image or that of others that one wants to protect. Each person has a self-image and they want to protect that face. Protecting face is important for communicating and behaving successfully with others, even though it may not be accomplished consciously by talk participants. You can skip. A face-threatening act is one that would make someone possibly lose face or damage it in some way. This desire of people for their self-image to be positive and approved has been used in documenting and analyzing the range of linguistic behavior online that can be seen as norm violating, such as insults, flaming, and bragging. Also, many research analyze online FTA and how they are present on social media. These acts are relatively widespread online, while also suggest that users of social media also engage in strategic mitigation of face-threatening behavior. You can skip. Apologizing online has been the subject of study in many different areas, including linguistics. Here we have this concept of apologies. They are post-event speech acts in the sense that some kind of offense or violation of social norms has taken place. The acknowledgement of a transgression by the person who is apologizing is an important feature, whereby apologies are compensatory actions used to restore and maintain social harmony. And having this concept established, we began to talk about non-apologies. You can go, Camila. Non-apologies are rhetorical acts that contain language such as I'm sorry or I apologize, but they don't actually work as genuine apologies in various ways. So here, the excuses are not true, but manipulated so that the offender's responsibility is minimized. This kind of excuse is common in speeches by politicians, such as the use of conditional forms to express a willingness to apologize. And then we start a fifth session. Camila. The study focuses on the pragmatic use of the hashtag sorry not sorry as a non-apology marker on Instagram. In 2018, there were about 12 million posts that shared the sorry not sorry tag. And in 2017, only 512 posts were selected to be analyzed in this research. The author used a quantitative analysis where he categorized the visual content of the selected images with the hashtag. Then he used a qualitative analysis to examine the pragmatic function of sorry not sorry and categorize a range of impoliteness strategies used with the hashtag. You can skip. To conduct the study, 4 questions were used. Which types of visual content are tagged sorry not sorry on Instagram? What pragmatic function does the hashtag sorry not sorry fulfill? What facework do users of Instagram engage in when posting images tagged sorry not sorry? And which emergent norms of appropriateness are apparent in the textual and visual discourse of posts tagged sorry not sorry? And in his analysis, the author demonstrated that the hashtag works as a non-apology marker, and also how Instagram users employ a range of both face aggravation and migration strategies when using this hashtag sorry not sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about a little bit of the analysis of the post labeled "Sorry Not Sorry." He starts by stating that overall, the hashtag infers two meanings. The first one being insincere apologies, and he provides two definitions that are widely known online. The first one being when you're supposed to apologize for something, but you're not really sorry at all. And the second one, sorry, but not really sorry. However, there's a second semantic aspect of the hashtag, which can mean a lack of concern for other people's feelings. Like, for example, if you're offended by something I did, by something I said or omitted, that's your problem, or even so, kiss my ass. So, a clear lack of concern for the person who's seeing the post. So, again, he defines the hashtag sorry not sorry as a non-apology marker. And the syntactic structures that he finds of the hashtag are this two. So, I apologize for the fact that I do not apologize, covering positive politeness, and I apologize and don't apologize for the content of my post, which is a positive impoliteness. He divides the hashtag into parts. So, part one, sorry, is the I apologize. However, the second part, not sorry, is the I do not apologize part. Both of the readings can be seen as involving simultaneous face threat, mitigation, and aggravation. So the sorry is a mitigation, however, the not sorry is an aggravation. Um, this is what he says he says, the sorry mitigates the face threat to the viewer of the post and by seeking redress for the offense. However, the not sorry is an expression of an explicit lack of concern for the face of the viewer and can be read as a form of face aggravation towards the audience. And as it indicates, the poster does not care about their feelings. Um, so here he starts talking a little bit more about the research that he did. So he categorized 512 images on Instagram that were posts labeled sorry, not sorry. And he says, a content analysis of the posts was conducted to examine which types of images were seen as potentially transgressive by the Instagram posters using the hashtag not sorry, not sorry. Um, so he finds that selfies are the most common posts using the hashtag, being 28.52%. And he says that the predominant use of hashtag sorry not sorry with selfies may be indicative of an awareness that they may seen as narcissistic form of self-representation. So here they see that if you post too much about yourself, the poster is aware that that is somehow violating the rules of online etiquette or online conduct. So they try to mitigate that by using the hashtag. And the second types of um, most common posts are text images and memes with 19.33%. And he says, the predominance of such content with hashtag sorry not sorry also suggests that it's used to indicate that the content may be potentially inappropriate to the audience, while simultaneously marking it as acceptable, to the poster as a part of an overall audience management style strategy, So again, the as it was said before, the hashtag is a form of identifying the post. So sometimes they try to use the hashtag sorry not sorry to appear to a group and to when they say like, oh, I don't like this, sorry, not sorry, they're trying to appeal to the positive face of the people who also don't like. They're trying to cultivate a positive face with those people who identify with them. The third part, the third finding is that food and drink are the 10% of the sorry, not sorry. And the fact that food images often occur with the hashtag may suggest that an awareness among posters that food is a topic that is connected to health-related choices and behavior, key elements of lifestyle that are central to presentation of the self among young people. So he also found that posts that have the hashtag sorry not sorry are mostly of high calorie, low nutrition food, like junk food or something like that. So the hashtag tries to mitigate that it can potentially be interpreted badly by some people, like people who are fitness or people who are vegan or something like that. So he says that the hashtag, it's a double discourse. It shows an awareness of norms, of appropriateness. However, it simultaneously transgress the norms. So the people who use the hashtag, they know that they are transgressing the norms, but they don't really care. But they symbolize it by using the hashtag. So this double-edged function of the hashtag not sorry, not sorry is particularly apparent in posts in the category of text, image, and memes discussed above. For those for those viewers who may find the reference to terrorism or dick pics inappropriate, the apologetic sorry component acts as a face mitigation strategy, reducing the offense of the post. Equally, it is also face mitigating towards the speaker in an attempt to restore their positive face. The not sorry element, conversely, is face aggravating to both parties, suggesting the poster does not care about the audience feelings. Again, for those who do not object to the content of the post, the sorry element is less relevant, while the not sorry component has a face enhancing or community forming function for the poster. Thus, the hashtag allows for a balancing act of strategies regarding inappropriate content in terms of both audience management and self-presentation. It allows posters to perform different forms of face work to multiple audiences, mitigating or aggravating face threats depending on the importance of the audience for the poster. So he also says that it's not only about pictures. A lot of the posts marked as sorry not sorry, so 17.5%, are marked because of the caption, so the text in the picture, not the picture itself. So here we have some examples, like best random car spot for my Japan trip. I might have trespassed to get pictures, hashtag sorry not sorry. And it's an image of a sports car on a parking lot. Or I made a total stranger take this picture of me, hashtag shameless, hashtag sorry not sorry. Or even, sorry, I cannot stop posting pictures of my tomatoes, hashtag psyche, hashtag sorry not sorry, and a lot of other hashtags. So it's an image of someone's gardens. And so he says that this discourse shows that an awareness of the content's potentiality transgressive nature, referring to the behavior both offline and online. Like, for example, the guy who was trespassing, or the girl who was imposing on strangers, so violating, being a negative face threatening act, and a violation of online practices like overposting with the woman with the tomatoes. So their knowingness of which can also be seen as a protective self-presentation strategy. So they are trying to cover their bases by saying, oh, I'm so sorry, but they're not really sorry. So this mitigation of the face threat is also evidenced by the apology offered in the example, sorry, I can't post pictures of my tomatoes. So she's saying, oh, I know this is not good for you, but I don't care. I'm going to post anyway, but here's a sorry so that I can cover my base. And then he says that the evidence above reinforces the interpretation that the function of the hashtag complements the strategic ambiguity between serious face work and a ludic reading. It is here that the undetermined nature of the hashtag functions as a trans-ideological irony marker, allowing users to take both complicitous and oppositional, sincere and playful stances on norms of appropriateness. As such, it is also functions as an identity marker, creating a playful ambivalence in the poster's position towards the discourse in terms of the intended implicature and shifting between genuineness and artifice. He then closes by saying that the hashtag sorry not sorry is not only going to be used on those who know that they are violating rules but they don't really care. It is also used in rude and blatant threat posts. Like, for example, in a post, in a meme that says, I don't mean to interrupt people, I just randomly remember things and get really excited, someone captioned, or I really just don't care what you have to say, to be honest. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. So they are being really rude to their audience. Or, I will never fucking understand people like this. If this is you, do us all a favor and go fuck yourself. I pray you end up forever alone. Hashtag go fuck yourself. Hashtag sorry not sorry. Hashtag excuse my language. So when they do that, this indicate a very individualistic and self-centered discourse, because they really do not care. They are explicitly expressing a lack of concern for their audience's feelings, because again, they don't know who is going to see that. Not only the people who the rude and blatant threats are pointed to, other people can see that post and are going to be very upset because their face is being threatened. So it is a face-aggravating behavior that attack the broad societally rights of the audience, which is basically that people want to be left alone. And the hashtag can also be seen as complementing the boosted face threat and impoliteness. So people who agree with that, they are going to be, yes, that's it, I agree, great. So the hashtag is kind of like another level to the threat. And he closes by saying that such insults are clearly face-aggravating behavior directed at the positive face of the audience, attacking quality face, the fundamental desire for people to evaluate us positively in terms of our personal qualities. And so he concludes the paper by making this statements that hashtags are a crucial meaning-making resource. So not only they're meant to be groupings, they're not only meant to group interests of people on social platforms, but they are also detrimental to the meaning of the post and the text of the post. And hashtag sorry not sorry acts as an illocutionary force indicating device that is used as a part of a trans-ideological strategy, allowing users to take both oppositional and complicitous stances on norms of appropriateness in online communities. And the interplay between self-promotion, self-aggravation, and community orientation involves a delicate balancing act in which hashtags play a key role through their meta, pragmatic, and ludic reflexivity. And to finalize, he leaves us with this thought, which is, why are uses of social media potentially offensive, particularly if they want people to like and follow their accounts? So again, he says that social media was very studied by psychology, not really by linguists. So he says that one answer may be found in the psychological literature linking Instagram use with a lack of empathy or with grandiose narcissism, which may lead posters to ignore potential criticism of their online behavior reflected in the discourse of self-centeredness evident in some of the data in the study. A further answer is a pragmatic one, in that they may be a ritualized element to some of the face threats in such posts. And that's it. Guys?